Hey Louis, welcome to my podcast.
Thanks, bro. Thanks for having me.
Mate, I'm so pleased you're here. We finally made this happen. We've been going backwards and forwards. You actually messaged me saying, if you're keen for a kōrero, I'd be keen to come on. And I was like, honoured.
Yeah, because I listened to, I love my favourite's the Eugene Berryman. I think that guy's like super inspirational, like how laid back he is. And your episode of JJ's like, might be the greatest New Zealand podcast of all time. Just the humanity of that episode, like what you guys explore in that, just I cry, I laugh. It's just great. Even if you have no context, even if you like, I grew up as a kid, like your guys' show is like a big part of like young adolescence, and your crazy ideas. But even if you have no context of what you guys were to media, that's a beautiful podcast,
bro. That is the highest compliment. That's really kind. I'll just get that microphone a little bit. Yeah, that's really kind. Because we're not married anymore. Like we broke up a number of years ago. I've got my Ash now, my girlfriend. But how old are you?
I'm 30.
30. Yeah. See, I'm old as shit compared to you. I'm 51 now. And I see you and I'm like, fuck this kid, because I call anyone 30 and under a kid. This kid's got his head screwed on the right way. Like, you just have a good heart and a good moral compass, and I don't know. I think I'm still learning and still growing as a person, but I feel like where you already are and just who you are as a person is kind of who I want to be.
Oh, look at us trading compliments, man. This is gassing each other up. Thanks, bro.
Yeah. It's an hour and a half of just pissing in each other's pockets.
Yeah.
No, I mean that because the way I've heard you speak about your wife. I was going to say we'll get to that, but maybe we'll just get to that now. So Ash, your wife, you're like childhood teenage sweethearts.
Yeah, bro. I was 15, and I used to jump out my window to like go to this park in between our two houses, and I'd convince her to jump out her window and then hang out with me like all night. And I was crazy about her. Like,
why?
I don't know. She was funny. She was quick on her feet. She was witty. I just loved everything about her. And like, we would stay up all night, hang out in this park, and like, Ash would go home and like her mum let her make her own choice if she was going to go to school or not. And my parents made me go to school. I had to be dead to not go to school. And so I would stay up all night, and I'd get into bed at like 6 in the morning as the sun is rising. And then my mum would come at like 7:30 and say, "Get up, hurry up, we're going." And then I'd go to school. I'd come home and I'd do the same thing the next night. Yeah.
Like how often?
Yeah, I know. So often. Yeah. It's crazy that, I don't know, this is that completely clear of mind. I was like not sleeping. Yeah.
But this is the difference between you and me. It's like I had that sort of feeling about girls at the same age, but then you'd have sex or whatever, and the novelty would wear off, and then you'd get bored, and fuck up the relationship, or or break up with them and move on to the next thing. But you've just got this I don't know.
I'm always very clear that our relationship went through like crazy like teenage destructiveness. That happened like all the way up until I was at university, breaking up all the time, like I don't want to, I want to live my life.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not this perfect story,
I thought it was you locked her in at 15 and that was it.
Nah, but that I think is like being with someone, right? Is that it's an active choice, and some days, all our relationships, we make active choices to be in those relationships, and I think about that with my wife still today. Just because we're married a long time doesn't mean we'll always be married. It's an active choice to like love my missus, and some days it's harder to say that than others. And but we went through heaps of times I don't want to be with you, that stuff this, like even go be with someone else. Like when I went away to university, my wife lived in Chicago for 2 years, and there was heaps of times we're like, nah.
Yeah, when she was living in the States for 2 years, did you see other people?
We've had time apart,
okay.
Not together.
Oh, so
it's not going to work.
So she's not the only person you've ever had sex with?
No, we're not. We've lived life.
Right.
Yeah, we've lived our life.
You're ruining the illusion. I thought it was.
Always got to be real straight up about it, because people think that it's that or nothing. It's the movie or it's not. But it's an active choice to love my wife and be with my wife. We've been through terrible stuff together, and
that's the reality of life, though, isn't it?
That's the reality. That's with all our relationship, all our family, all the people we loved. have hurt us and we've hurt them, and I'm just like real honest about it, because I often get held up on a pedestal because I'm this platform about this like loving father and loving husband, you know, and
flawless.
And I have to, because this story like won't go far, like all these things I said, because people want to believe in the fairy tale, right? So it's like no matter how much I harp on about it, and I'll keep talking about it so that people don't expect their relationships to be a walk in the park. And if it's not a walk in the park, you know, then I mustn't be with the right person. That's not the case. You know, if you're with the right person, you're probably going to fight like heaps. You know, you're probably going to butt heads heaps. And yeah, that's me and my wife have done a lot of headbutting.
Well, thanks for sharing that. I feel like that's that honesty is it's even better than like a Netflix love story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's the reality of life. Shit gets hard.
Yeah.
You got her name tattooed on you when you were like 16?
Yeah, no, I had it put into my moko when I was 16, and man, that's amazing that you found that. Yeah, and she thought that was a bit creepy actually. We actually broke up. We actually broke up not long after that actually, and yeah, it's no, but even if we didn't stay together after that, it would have been beautiful, because you know it would have been, she's a part of my story. Now moko is our story of our life, right? So I would have been okay with that,
right?
You know, yeah. I told her I was going to marry her when I was 16. You know, and
how did you know?
You don't. You're just like a teenager that's talking shit like about how you feel at that time, and when you're a teenager, all those emotions are so big, eh? Like your first breakup is so big, it's the end of the world. You know, first time you fall in love, it's so big, like it swallows you up, and it's, I don't know. I was just talking shit.
Yeah, that is so true. I feel like a lot of you know, as we know, the mental health stats in New Zealand are atrocious, and you know, the suicide rates are terrible. And I reckon a lot of young people, it's probably their life probably spirals out of control after a breakup, because you just don't have the emotional capacity to sort of deal with it.
Yeah,
and process it.
When I was 16, I lost my mate tractor like, in that way. Other stuff, but stuff compounded, and this is my first experience like of someone around me obviously being like losing their life that way, but that story which plays out over and over and over again, particularly with like young men, you know, heartbroken, and then have no way to process that emotion, no belief that it could be better, no belief that I could be loved again, or I could like risk being hurt like this again, and it's real sad.
Yeah, it's bloody tough. Yeah, I lost a mate of mine the same way, sort of mid-40s as well, and I saw a lot of myself in him. Like, he was a fun guy. He was always the first to suggest, you know, you grab a box of beers and get amongst it. And when this happened to Daryl, I thought, oh, fuck, okay, if this could happen to him, where he thinks this is the best option, then it could happen to me as well. And it made me sort of like prioritise my mental health a bit more. How's yours been? Because it looks good on TikTok.
Yeah, no, it looks good. I think overall, I have great support systems. I have great systems for managing my well-being, and that's a tough question, because I want to say I'm good, but I know that my mental health is an active work in progress. Probably the thing that affects me the most is that I am a person that tells stories to millions of people every day, and short stories, some deep, some meaningless, and that everyone, because I'm a storyteller, you would have experienced parts of this. When you're a storyteller to the world, everyone thinks they get to have an opinion about your story, the way you acted, the way you didn't act, how they would have, and people just get to take like free shots at you. You know, people can just say whatever they want without consequence, without like, you're never gonna retaliate, because it's not a fair conversation for you to, you know, have a conversation with the one heckler out there and millions of people. You know, so that part's hard. And then we're living in a time where people tell you what you should and shouldn't do. If you have millions of followers, like, what's your responsibility to do and not do? And I get smashed for that. Part of me understands that, but doesn't change the fact that it's like heavy, you know.
Yeah, it's hard, eh? Like you mentioned at the beginning, you listened to the Eugene Berriman podcast.
Yeah,
he's
he has
got
a
some
great
strong
take on it.
view,
Yeah,
strong
yeah.
take on social media stuff.
But
It's an unfair fight.
He can beat the shit out of someone. So that's probably his take, which is like, if you were here, you wouldn't say that.
Yeah, come at me, bro.
Yeah, whereas if someone said that to me in person, I would still be hurt, and then I would try and reason with them to no avail. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that the social media comments. It's funny, because I can have days where I'm feeling fucking bulletproof, and I can read a mean comment and I'll just laugh and swipe up to the next thing. And then there's other days where if you're in the wrong frame of mind, it really fucking hurts.
If they just basically back up something you're already worried about, and then they get you at the wrong time,
it can really have an impact.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm mature enough to handle it. So someone that's younger that doesn't have the same skill set, like it's a rough playground.
I had a kid ask me that wanted to make videos, but she was like, but I don't think I can handle like all the comments and stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty fair. And I think there will be lots of people as the creative industry continues to grow, where people do stuff like what we do, where kids just won't do it purely because of the fear of what people might say. Whereas that wouldn't happen with anyone else's dreaming. People like wouldn't be an All Black, not because they're scared of what people would say. They might be scared, because it's too hard, or they give up along the way, or they think it's not realistic, but not because their fear is what people will say about the pursuit of their dream. Yeah. And that's will stop people with social media.
Yeah.
Gnarly.
Yeah, no, it's a rough playground.
Yeah, there's a. I hate to quote Ti, but he said this thing in an interview, which I actively looked this clip up again. But it's like, it's if you live for the cheers, you'll die for the booze, and that's why I think so many content creators just read no comments, respond to no DMs, read no comments. It's just blank. You can't say anything that will lift me. You can't say anything that will put me down. And there's heaps of us that operate that way. And so there can be something, you can be getting like flamed for something, but you might not actually know for quite a while because you actually aren't reading anything. And the audience think like, how could you not respond to this? Or like, someone makes a video about you and then you like, but you actually don't look it up, you don't watch it, you don't read the comments. So you actually, it is possible to actually not see any of that stuff.
Yeah. And I suppose you get more experienced at that. But if you're, if you're not experienced at that, the first time it happens, it's like, you cannot help but read the comments, right? Yeah, it's like a weird addiction. Like it's bad for you, but you're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, I get somewhere between 10 to 20,000 comments a day.
Actual.
So so if you imagine, I don't know, if you got sent 10 to 20,000 letters just one time, you probably wouldn't read them all, and then you give up. And then if they showed up again the next day, if you had 10 to 20,000 letters show up, you'd read none. You read less and less till you read no letters. Till you're like Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, just having them. They're just there, but you're not. Yeah.
So you must have all your notifications silenced.
Yeah, no, you can't even text me. Yeah, can't it'll be when I want to go on and read my DMs and, well, now DMs, you have to read DMs, but now Instagram, they basically filter it all so you can read. It has a pretty good assumption for where it's going to put the DMs you would probably want to read, and then just other people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I had so many questions about content creation, which people wanted me to put to you. First of all, I just want to focus on your story for a little bit. So, so you're from Northland. You meet Ash. It's a great love story. Obviously, ups and downs of teenage love. Yeah, then you go to Waikato University together?
Yeah. Man, you're thorough with the job. Yeah, went to Waikato. I studied communications, and I had this crazy lecturer. Yeah,
Professor David McGee.
Yeah. He's just retired. And he used to dance in lecture theatres, he used to point at people and you'd have to stand up and he'd give out money and give out like food and stuff. One time there was 200 people in the class, but maybe only 50 people showed up one day. So he's like, come on, I'll buy you all a coffee, and took the whole lecture down. He was just amazing. He was obviously passionate about teaching marketing, but he was just the man. And he gave us all an A+ on our assignment, and he's like, well, you don't have to worry about the grade. You got 3 weeks. Go out there, take something that you love, and convince someone else to pay for it. And I just started making videos with my mate about being a student. It's like the opposite story I tell now. We're getting fucked up, throwing parties, just living as stupid students. And this is at the launch of Snapchat, this is like the introduction of social media, and so we're just like telling big stories to our local area, which is Hamilton. And it wasn't long before, we had more followers than our university, more than any business, and we had the biggest voice in terms of student culture. And
what were you doing? Can you remember the sort of content you were?
Yeah, we were making like vlogs about parties we'd organise. We'd put thousands of students in one place, and then like we'd get the keg sponsored, and then like we'd just do dumb stuff, make videos about it. I remember at that time we had so much like real world like clout and traction with our community, which was students, but we hadn't figured out how to connect it up to make money, which is the original assignment. And so we were like talking to brands and stuff, trying to pitch them, and they were why would we give you that money? They didn't see the value at that time. And I remember there was a brand, and we said to them, like, well, how much are you going to spend on like posters and bus stops this year? And they said the money. I was like, okay, what if you just gave that to us? And we managed to convince them to give them the money. So it was like our first like brand deal at that time.
So this is like pre
it doesn't exist. It doesn't
yeah.
exist. Like they don't see the value in that. They still like want to like do a billboard or that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's where they want to spend their marketing budget.
So your Snapchat, what else?
Yeah,
like
Snapchat, Facebook. Yeah, Facebook was big for us. Facebook was like a young person's app at that time. That's where we all talked.
Was this sort of when MySpace and Bebo were on the way out?
Nah, that was gone.
They were gone.
That was gone. Yeah. And we make videos like every day, or like we make memes. Like memes used to perform really well at that time. Yeah.
So did you always have like a content brain, or do you think it's something that you just?
Yeah, I think I've always been fascinated with storytelling. How do you move someone in their heart? How do you make them laugh? How does just your words, like this is like the art, that you've mastered. Your career is like storytelling. Like, and all the different kinds of it. I'm not like a snob for what a powerful story can be. Sometimes it just be stupid, but I just have been fascinated by that, and I've always got a kick out of. And social media lets you get feedback straight away. Like you come up with an idea, you execute the idea. And then that's magic, right? When you have an idea and then you share it with the world, and the world goes, that's a great idea.
When it hits, the algorithm likes it.
Yeah. Well, and however you share that, whatever your medium for, like storytelling, and I've always been like that. I'm still like that. Like I like make memes still in like group chats with mates. Like I just get a kick out. I just love it. Like just the way that I observe life, our conversations, our relationships.
Yeah. Okay, so you start that when you're as part of your assignment. You ace the assignment, clearly, you do well. But then you keep it up, right? And you end up making enough money to sort of like pay for you and Ash to go through university.
Yeah, well, me and my mate who I was making videos with, he didn't use the money to pay for university. I won't know. He used it to have a fucking great time. But
most of it went to the Outback.
Yeah. But he was on a full scholarship. So I guess that's maybe why he lived it. Yeah, he sunk it at the Outback. But me, that was how I paid my whole way through university.
Right.
Yeah. At one point, we were. I want to shout out to the Lawrence Group, because you guys basically invented influencer marketing in New Zealand, but they just paid us a salary to just only drink in their bars, and we were earning a wage every week to just like only go to their bars and just like make the Outback, make Bar 101, like make the cultural bars that were to new first years, new students, current students to appear as the bar of choice. Yeah. And that was all we had to do. Was we did like crazy things for like just to gain traction, outrageous stuff, and it was just and we were just making videos in a time when that industry didn't exist. Now it's just there's hundreds of people that do it for money.
It's so forward thinking, eh?
Well, I think we just enjoyed it, and like I said, I loved making videos. But it's so funny because it's completely not what my story is now. And every now and again, someone will mention that when they come up to me in the street. It's not about what my story is. It's like, oh yeah, I remember you from Two Kids, and it's like it's from so it's Two Kids at University. That was the name of our blog, and I scrubbed it all from the internet when I graduated from university, because I got to the ends of university and I proposed to Ash at my 21st, and it was so cool. But I think I lost courage. Like I lost faith that I could build a life from that, and it's one of the biggest regrets like of my life, is not having the courage to do what I wanted to do. Like the only example of commercial success of what me and Jules were was maybe like Jono and Ben, like that kind of toned down version of what we were for mainstream. And so like I just lost faith, and so I went and got like a normal job, you know, at university, working at a university, and I scrubbed all this stuff from the internet and had to watch my peers at that time who were starting out continue, and I like admire them so much. They had more courage, like Jimmy Jackson started at the same time, you know, Terrell, the Cougar Boys, like they had the courage that I didn't, to like still work another job but like pursue your passion. And it's such a silly way of thinking, which is like, because I can't do this as a job, I will not continue. Because you know, like if I play guitar and I wasn't going to be a rock star, I'd probably still play guitar, right?
Yeah,
so
100%.
Yeah.
But why didn't you? Because it seemed like you were onto something good. So it seems really weird to me that you graduate and then you go to Wellington to manage some student accommodation, right?
Yeah. That's what I went to do. And
Why?
It was simply like thinking in terms of like the nucleus like path of life, which is I need a job, I'm getting married, I need a job, you know, so that we can have stable income and stuff. And it's not even that Ash like required that of me. Ash would have been down for an adventure, you know, to go struggle through something or figure something out. But I just didn't have the courage. And I whenever I like get to share my story, like particularly with young people, and they ask, like I always highlight that part, because it's like, because I at one point gave up, and so it was like the promise. So if you give up on whatever you want to do, it's over. But as long as you continue, the promise of it being possible is it's always possible. You know, it might even never happen, but it's always possible. But it's definitely not possible if you give up. And I gave up, and so this dream just stops. And then I lose all this time, but years later, this app hits called TikTok. And I don't know why, but I feel safe because it's like a new app maybe, and I just start making videos, and it all comes back, you know, the love of the craft, you know, all the things I understood about content and virality and stuff, it all comes back, it all applies, and it grows into the monster it is now, you know.
Yeah. So, okay, so you're in Wellington in this job. I was going to say a shitty job, but
I loved it. I actually loved it. Yeah.
But you're there and you've got a content brain. How are you?
I used it at work. Like we had the sickest social media for our halls. Like made videos. Like I shot like a whole Come Dine With Me. Like and just made like a series. Like I would just like make my work day around like making videos, and like because I was just responsible for residential life, like shooting experience. So I just made heaps of content. Yeah. But they were like in my industry, they were amazed. Like I used to go to conferences on the other side of the world, like to like present my content, because it was like, can't believe this. They're like making all this inside of a hall, but it's just that I was shaping my job to basically be a social media manager for my halls of residence.
Why didn't you keep just doing stuff for social media? And did you get sort of FOMO or jealousy when you saw like Jimmy Jackson or Johnny Tuivasa-Sheck or Willie Wyra or whoever else? See them growing their followings. Are you like?
It was more like I admired their courage. Like I admired that they kept going. You know, and what they have achieved is because they've been in this game, like Jimmy, like 10, 12 years. You know, and so it's just it's literally just losing faith, like not believing. And it's so stupid because people don't do this with other creative pursuits. You know, if it why would you stop your creative pursuit if it doesn't make money? That's so stupid. And now, if all of this goes away, I've promised myself that if all of this goes away, I'll still protect my love of storytelling. And if I make no money, if no one cares, if no one watches it, I'll still make videos if this goes away this time. And I'm not going to make that mistake twice. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think, I was going to ask later on, like, what sort of, where is it going to leave you when your kids go through the phase where, the kids have that phase where they're no longer cute anymore. It's shit, gotta get those annoying kids off.
I guess, because currently my story is about my family, right?
Yeah,
it's about my life.
And your kids are adorable.
Yeah, it's with my children, it's with my family. And like that's the story that means the most to me right now. I'm not saying that one day I won't care about my family, but the kind of my mission at the moment is to tell a story of a father that looks like me, that loves his kids, loves his wife, loves his family, and like that story becomes so big, like so huge that it washes over like any stereotype about dads that look like me.
What do you mean when you say dads that look like me?
Because our
Māori men in general?
like a mate of mine who's like he's a comedian, Joe Damon. He was recently staying with me, and he was telling me about him going to a really famous New Zealand drama school to watch their production, and it was still about domestic violence, like, you know, hard upbringing, sexual abuse, and then running away from the hard life. That is the story, not just in like fiction, like that's what they fund for New Zealand TV shows, movies and stuff. It's the aggressor, the warrior, the gang member, the athlete. Like that's the brown father. Like that's what we get to be. We get to be a version of Jake Damas, or if it's not that, it's the adolescent version. It's the boy, you know. It's the and that's the story that people know around the world, you know. And my mission of my story is for it to be like one that looks like me, you know, silly, affectionate, a bit cringy, you know. I just love my family, and I want you to see that. You know, we do 200 million views a month. My goal is that story is so big that just washes over that. And so if you know something about Māori because of content you consume, you live on the other side, this is what you know. And one day that will look different. One day that maybe it'll be so normal, and there'll be other, you know, dads that look like me that make this content. It won't be the special niche that people find fascinating, that makes people watch. Yeah. One day it'll just be super normal and boring.
Because it is funny that it's a niche, eh? Like, you know, you're getting all this kudos for just being like a stay-at-home dad that loves your kids.
Yeah. And I hope one day, you know, it's not that interesting, and it goes. And then I'll tell stories about something else. You know? Yeah,
well, that's the impression I get. So I was wondering about that, but after you explained the story about the university thing, I suppose whatever stories you're telling is a reflection of where you're at in your own life.
Yeah. But you can tell stories about anything, and they mean for like, I've been making like videos about my running, and like, it's real funny to me that the most watched New Zealand vlogs are like Riley. I don't know if you've seen Riley's videos. Riley and me, who are like slow as runners. We complain the whole vlog, you know. There's like, we give no like helpful advice, nothing encouraging, but it's just like it's the story of a 7-minute K runner who just like has the worst self-talk ever, and it's like people like love it, right? So it's like it applies to whatever in your life. Like, I make videos about like being a real average spear fisherman and diving and like fishing with my cousins, like stuff that I would do anyway, and people like love it, you know. You can tell stories about whatever. I think my core mission is about my family, which has like its ethical like questions to like explore with the people that, you know, that I care what they think, you know, where I take my mana from. Because the criticism of family content creators, because there's more and more of us like around the world, it's the American ones that get the big criticism, but the criticism is like the ethics of, you know, making content with children, you know, because children don't, you know, they don't know what they're in, you know, they're a part of our life. But I guess my worldview is that we do everything in community anyway, you know. Our parents make choices anyway that affect us, you know, what they do and don't do. You know, like if I was something else, if I was a job that took me away from my kids all the time to work, that would have an effect on my kids, you know. If I whatever choice we make, if I was a certain religion, my kids are gonna be that religion, you know. All the choices we make where we lead our kids, you know, they affect our kids.
Yeah, I get some friends with kids, and they do that thing where they put like an emoji over the kid's face on Instagram, and they're like, "Oh, my kids haven't consented to being on." I'm but your kids also haven't consented for you to change their nappies. But you know.
Or tell their stories, like media people that conceal the kids. I understand that choice, you know, but also like, you know, they don't consent to anything. That you share their whole life as stories. It's media that exists in the world, so it's like you just have to make the choice. I think for me, like if, say, my child was, because my children have become public figures by extension of the mission, that the story I want to tell about Māori fatherhood. But say my children were public figures in the traditional capacity, like they were Disney actors, or they were like, you know, just in like baby ads or whatever, you know, I would hand my children over to other people, other places that have to keep them safe. and those big beasts, they roll on. It's not whether a kid, is ready or doesn't want to or whatever. Whereas in my world, I'm responsible for the safety of my child, and no one, I don't show up to a set. I don't, I don't have a director or anything like that. It's my, my children get to be with me, safe with me.
Yeah, I don't even know your kids from a bar of soap. I've just met you, but I think they'll love it. Like, I think it's one of those things. It's like a time capsule. They'll grow up and they've got these amazing videos of they're happy in it.
Yeah.
And there's so much aroha there, right?
and if they're not, and if I made the wrong choice, like, I'll apologize, and I'll try and make that right with my kids, and I'll explain my reasoning at that time,
and take back all the toys that they got sent for being influencers.
Yeah, well, I pay my kids so they'll have all their money.
Yeah,
one that So it's the, If I got it wrong, I'll apologize and I'll try and make that right with my kids, and I'll face that when we face it.
So this, I mean, your parents. I was talking to someone about this the other day. Your parents. Oh, Tuela Blakely. I had her in here the other day, and she had a interesting relationship with her mum, and she, her mum sort of fucked her up a bit, and then she's like, but you know what? I think I've done a great job with my son, but he probably thinks I've fucked him up. It's like, we all grow up with a certain size chip on your shoulder about how you've been raised, and it just happens. But so you're one of New Zealand's top content creators, but when you left Wellington and you jobbed down there to move back up to the far north, this wasn't your intention, eh? You just wanted to go back home and...
Well, yeah, I wanted to come home. I wanted to be home by my family. I wanted my kids to grow up around the people that loved me and looked after me. I wanted their life. Like, I hated growing up in the north when I got to my teenage years because we had no phone reception. I didn't have my, I didn't have my mates. And I wanted to be in the city or whatever. But as I got older, I was like, man, this is the dream. This is where you want to be. So my kids can hate it. No. I just wanted to be home with my kids so that I could share them with my family. Because in the Māori context, kids in all families, but I'm going to just focus on the one that I understand, which is kids belong to more than just me. They're not just raised by me. They're raised by grandparents. They're raised by aunties and uncles. They're raised by the collective of cousins that they belong to, and that's what I wanted for my children. And like at that time when I was tossing up the decision, that we had savings, and we also, like, content was like a full-time income at that time. Right. And so it was just like
so it was a fairly safe move.
Yeah. Well, it's never safe in content because it could all end at any moment. But I just walked into my boss and I was like, I don't really want to come here 5 days a week anymore. I'm going to go home, be with my family. I'll figure out what comes next. And she was like, that's so dumb, you got kids, da-da-da. She's this Brazilian woman that's real intense, and I love her. But I was like, I'm going to just go live at the beach and do what I love, make videos, hang out with my family, and we'll see where it leads me. And then, like, it's kind of logical afterwards, but if the only thing you do is hang out with your family, make videos, like, you'll get better at hanging out with your family and making videos. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So your daughters Anakiwa and Kanoa. Are you having any more? Have you had a vasectomy?
Yeah. When does this podcast come out?
Probably a couple of months. We're recording this on the 15th of June.
All right. If this comes out in a couple of months, I'm having another baby right now. We just found out I'm having another baby.
Amazing. Have you had a scan?
Nah, the scan's next week or in 2 weeks.
Bro.
Yeah, and then it's as long as you don't accidentally announce to the world, because that was a great podcast, let's just upload it now.
Oh, wow.
When this comes out, we would have just announced it, and it'll be, everyone will be excited, we're excited, yeah.
Planned, unplanned, or just?
Unplanned. It feels very different, unplanned. It feels, feel shocked, and, we actually, like, confirmed our decision to, like, we're going to leave the place that we live in and go live, because my parents are like an hour away, like their actual house that they live in. So we're going to go live next door to my parents, live in Papakainga.
Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah, so the kids can just run. They'll live like 300 meters away from grandparents.
Yeah. Wow, this is cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool. And is the female gene strong in your family? Like, are you thinking it's going to be another daughter?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's going to be another girl. I also have heaps of twins in my first cousin, so that's real strong in my family. And so it's quite. I have this weird feeling that it's a twin, that we're having twins, which would be quite overwhelming, if there are twins.
Great for the content.
Yeah, it'd be intense, man. It'd be intense. Yeah.
Are you nervous? Because you had a rough birth with Kanoa, right?
Yeah. So
you want to tell us about that?
When Kanoa was born at home, which was like real amazing, like with all our family around us, it was so cool. And then she just kept spewing like continuously, and she was only a few hours old, and so she was rushed to the hospital. They put in a chopper and flown to Starship, and basically all her intestines were blocked. Like she was born just basically, it wasn't open, and so, and yeah, she almost died. And when she was like 2 days old, they opened up her whole puku, operated on her, and they saved her life. Definitely one of the hardest things we've ever been through, like in our life, like almost losing our child that we got to hold and love, you know. I'm not a person that feels like this real strong attachment to the baby in the puku, the baby that isn't here. I don't feel this strong attachment, to the heartbeat sound or anything, but I got to hold her, you know. I got to like say I love you, and then we were faced possibility, because I never had that thought that one of my children would be taken from me. Yeah, never had that thought at all, ever, even with our older child. And then we spent 2 weeks of like is our child gonna live, which was like so shit. And all those staff there that like they were absolutely unreal. Like I'll drive past like nurses striking and like give them a honk, but like I won't like think about the how hard their career is. But after that experience, like how amazing, you know, the staff nurses and doctors and stuff were. Like they made the worst experience you can go through as a parent like as good as it possibly could be. Yeah, even stuff like when your child's gonna die, you don't think about where you leave your car. And I had like an $800 something where I left my car, right, in the car park. Like it's just ticking up.
Wilson's car park.
Well, fuck Wilson's. I'll say that. If Wilson's ever wanted to brand new, fuck you.
It's outrageous. That car park next to Starship, it's outrageous. It's so expensive. Where's the compassion?
Wilson's is the worst gang in New Zealand. All those people that were commenting on that episode you did with the gang member, redirect all that time you got to Wilson's car park. Fuck Wilson's car park.
Well, the gangs should get out of the meth train and get into parking.
Bro, parking is where it's at. They're just extorting people whose babies are dying. They're like, we can get this guy. He's not thinking about where he's leaving his car. Let's run it up right now. The nurse at Starship snuck our car out at night with like your staff park like in the middle of the night. Like did that, you don't have to do that like, on your dinner break. Like, you know, they were amazing, and I'm thinking about how I can repay that. I want to do something for Starship with the voice that I have. I've got to do something real cool with the Westpac Rescue Chopper this year, and that felt real good. So I want to do something for Starship, because I don't think I lend my platform to any like cause like that, other than that one I talked about earlier. But so I want to do something for Starship.
That's cool. They deserve it. That's something I never really thought about nurses, but it's like as well as nursing, you're also like counselling and managing the expectations of people that are in the the most stressed out state imaginable.
That place, NICU, that hospital is an intense place. Like there was a couple next to us that lost their baby while we were there. They got told they were gonna turn the thing off that keeps baby alive, and they have this room there where families can come say goodbye to their family. And I'll never forget the sound of that, the wail of a whole family saying goodbye to their baby that they loved but they didn't get to know. Like just the scream, like the sound of that for hours, like coming out of that. Like babies are something that everyone loves. That everyone. Well, they're defenseless. Yeah, and they've never hurt. They never hurt anyone. They've never done anything wrong in this world. They were just born a certain way, and they're just loved. That's the only feeling people have for baby.
Yeah.
And so when that is taken from them, man, yeah, I understand why people are atheists. I understand why people, why that's the worst tragedy that people go through, which is losing a child. I understand why. Yeah, that's just the worst thing in the world.
Well, thanks for sharing that. I'm sure it's not easy. Yeah. So you and Ash went in the rescue chopper. You have to drive down.
Ash was.
Oh, Ash was.
Yeah,
okay.
I was like breaking every road rule in the world, like driving from Northland to down here. Yeah, that's so blurry, that trip.
Who were you with? You
by myself.
Really?
In the car. I don't even know what I grabbed. I think I didn't even come with clothes. I think I just got in the car. And I remember my wife made me stop. She rings me. You promised me that you'll stop, and I said no. And we had this argument because everything's so intense at the time. She promised me that you'll stop on the way. Because it's not super fast, like 3 hours. And she made me stop and walk with. And I'm like, and I just stop, and I literally get out of the car, like, and I get back in the car just to fulfill my promise to my wife. I did. Yeah. But that doesn't feel, when I think back on that doesn't feel like this big pain anymore because it all worked out.
Yeah, you had a happy ending.
Yeah. But I feel this mummy in my heart for people who, they go through everything we went through, all that pain, and then it ends badly as well.
Yeah.
So I want to do something. And I will figure out what that thing is. Yeah.
Oh, good on you. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's a good platform you've built. And it, using it for good, it's kind of selfish in a way because it makes you feel good, eh?
Yeah,
it's helping other people, but
Yeah.
also it's good for your own soul.
Yeah. There's like this, I'm going to get some of these details wrong, but she was like a teenage girl that didn't like school, dropped out of school and started a loaded peanut butter company and Better Butter. And if anyone wants to look it up, but she wrote to me and like explained her situation and said, I'd love for you to try it. She sent me this peanut butter. When you make content, people send you stuff all the time. So you just get used to saying no because it's never free. They always want something from you. So I just say no to everything. But I was moved by her story and I made this video. The video has like 4 million views of me eating the peanut butter and she has employees now and she has commercially licensed and sells this, it's her full-time job. She has a premise and stuff. She sells it. It's like that feels good when it's like I didn't get anything out of this. Oh, I got 2 jars of peanut butter, but it's like it was a teenage girl that didn't fit inside school, which resonated with me, and then I got to use what I have to make a difference. I'm not claiming that all of her success comes from me. I think she would have cracked it eventually, but I got to speed it up a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, you gave her that exponential sort of growth. Yeah, anyone that sends you something, that's what they're hoping for, eh?
Yeah, and I just say no. One of my real good mates, Terrell, he's a similar predicament of me, which is we do the same job, and he some advice. He doesn't remember giving me this advice. I was just talking to him about it this morning, but he was like, just say no to all PR, and that's just basically what I do. Except that Whittaker's chocolate bar, they take me to the cleaners, but they get a free post just for me to know what the chocolate bar is early. It's just the product's just that good that I haven't said take me off the PR. Yeah, bloody Whittaker's.
Yeah, it's expensive too, eh? It's like almost twice the price of Cadbury's. But damn you, Whittaker's!
I don't eat any other chocolate. Yeah, it's kind of like when you go to Flash peanut butter or Flash ice cream, you never go back to shitty peanut butter and shitty ice cream, mate. You never.
I like the shitty stuff. Is it
really?
Sanitarium or Eater? What?
Nah.
I'm all about it. People that are into picks or whatever, I'm like, nah, you keep that. Give me crunchy Eater or Sanitarium.
Eater, Sanitarium, social media marketing. If you're watching this, you need to get a sponsor on the podcast because I don't know anyone else that's eating that.
I'm not mad at you guys. Show me some love. Give me a deal. Fuck this guy. I forgot about the KFC thing. I'm pretty sure I would have messaged you at the time.
Yeah, I think I was on your guys' show.
Were you?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, I was definitely on the edge.
So when did you get married? What year did you and Ash get married?
We've been married
Bro.
8-9 years.
Okay.
Yeah. We're married on Waitangi Day, so I never forget the anniversary.
Yeah, okay, yeah, so Waitangi Day. So you were getting married at the stadium up there?
Yeah, we married, huge Northland Taniwha fan, and we had our reception at the stadium. But we got married at my parents' place, and then we for those people out there that have got married, you know that it's a long day and you're real hungry. And we made the stupid decision to take some photos here, some photos there. So we're like driving around, and we driving past KFC, and this is my content, brain. Yo, wait, stop. We get out, arrange everyone, just take this photo. We get back in the car, and I just upload it. Like, I just, without asking Ash. Ash was so angry. We actually had a fight on our wedding day about that.
Oh, I've heard you say this in another podcast. Really, or are you just sort of...
Nah, she was not happy about that at all. I pay a lot of money to have a photographer and a videographer and stuff, and I uploaded a photo. We also had a very small Māori wedding of about 150 people. You know, there was 500 people. There's 500 people at my parents' wedding. You know, so it's like, small wedding. Yeah, and and then it just goes crazy. Like Edge, like all the New Zealand radio stations, like New Zealand media, like hitting us up by Monday. It's like in American media, like we did American TV interviews and like New York Times and all that kind of stuff. And
why do you think it resonated so much? From
it's just a silly story. Like it's just like a silly story that, like, it's like it was the start of the clickbait era. You know, like that's like gonna get people that judge you like for being cheap. It's gonna be people that think that's cute. You know, it's like people be arguing and bickering and comments. It's the start of that wave, which is like news outlets posting content that just gets engagement. You know, it's like reporting non-news like it's news. It's the start of that time.
I suppose it's funny as well.
It's like there's like just to like this is made up, but there's probably more than 300, less than 500 news articles about that, like from proper sources about that thing. Whereas like there's like I told you, 200 million views a month, and I'll maybe get like one news article about me like every month or two. You know. So it's like it's just a weird thing that gained traction inside legacy media. I don't know why,
but it blew up big time, right? And you guys, KFC paid for your honeymoon.
Yeah, they flew us to Kentucky. Got to go around the main place. Met the big dog of KFC like in the world, and he's actually Kiwi from Wellington, which is crazy.
Is he?
Yeah.
Not Colonel Sanders anymore.
Yeah, no. But it was so cool, and then they gave us free KFC for a year, which like fucked my body up and like.
What does that mean? You're allowed to go there and get like one?
No, it was just like
unlimited.
I looked at like 20 hungover mates there once, and I don't even remember how much it was, but they just bring in buckets and buckets and buckets.
Like they must have been pleased when that year was up. This guy's taking the piss.
Give a brown guy free KFC for a year. We could run the same campaign and give it to 20 people.
Shit. So they paid for a trip to the States.
Yeah. Well, do you think about how much that story got? You know, it's
but they didn't have to though, right?
I know. I don't feel ungrateful, but I understand content, so I understand the value of it. Like now, you know how brands do that stuff all the time. Like a story will happen, they jump all over it. Like we'll send you this or we'll buy you this. You know, like that happens all the time. But this is the start of that. A brand's going that if they respond appropriately to real world things that happen, they'll build real strong rapport with the public. And that was an example of that.
Yeah.
Okay,
your TikTok's massive, eh? So 1.9 million followers on. Where are they from? How many New Zealanders?
About 400,000 New Zealand, which is pretty crazy.
It's like 10% of the country.
It's like isn't that bigger than One News? Like their nightly viewership. So it's pretty crazy. Yeah,
and your top TikTok, the one that you've got pinned at the top, is 97 million views.
Yeah. Most watched video of last year in Australasia, and it didn't win Video of the Year at the TikTok Awards. I'm off it.
Is that a thing? TikTok Awards?
I'm off it.
So, did you go to the ceremony?
Nah.
What one?
Like Fitzroy Garage. It's like 5 boys having. It's like them having a party in their garage, and they're like doing haircuts, and then it's like it seems like dirty, and like I don't know. It's like it's real hard to explain. It is real hard to explain an internet video to someone else. So, like it doesn't make any sense. So for context, the most watched social media video in Australasia last year, if you didn't know, is a video of me and my daughter eating a kidney. That series has over 500 million views of us eating kidneys. So it's
why do you think that's connected so much?
Because the sea urchin is so ugly. It's so ugly, and like kids are very fussy eaters, and then it's like also that thing of our overall story, which is like big tattooed brown dad with like very soft and loving with his daughter, like people like,
Right,
like they like
a
that
guy
story.
that looks like a tough guy.
Yeah, like very soft, loving with his daughter. And with my mates that make content, we've like studied that video and picked things out and found what you replicate and what you
Oh, really? So like, because
we do this with all videos. We like study videos that perform well, and then you replicate the things the data points that you think were successful. And
like you like Mr. Beast.
Yeah, he's on another level because he's like employs people to do that. But content creators that are successful, usually it's because they think about videos, they think about storytelling, they think about the edit. They are very critical of things that perform well and don't well, and they learn from that. There are stories of that people just upload, but content creators that have millions of followers, it's a very small club in New Zealand, and they all think about performance. They study analytics. They talk with other content creators about the edits and stuff. They send edits back and forth with other content creators before they upload and say, "What do you think about this? Nah, swap this, do this. What about this sound?" Yeah.
Fuck, that's intense.
Because the currency that we trade, we trade storytelling, right? So doing it really, really well, like, because we care about it. Have you ever talked to like a person that plays guitar and how they're always fluffing around like stuff that no one would notice, like tuning the guitar and like how stuff sounds. It's the details of our craft, like anyone, You must do it when you observe someone interviewing, like, why did they say that and they shouldn't have done that?
True.
You understand the craft, so it's like that for people that make videos.
What did you learn from that video? Because to me it just looks really authentic and genuine, and it doesn't look like a lot of thought's gone into it. It's just
that's
real
how
natural.
that's how it's meant to look. Yeah,
right.
So even stuff like bringing down the quality of the camera. So it was shot in 4K, but I brought it down in quality because 4K makes it look like it was professionally shot, and you don't want that. You want it to feel like they're just sitting next to me on the table. I think there's an element of, is this dangerous? What is that? Like, and then go, and then worried for the child, and then, oh wait, she actually loves it. That's amazing. Look, she's eating it. What is that? And then it's like, oh, there's their mum. This is their family. She's feeding it to her mum. Like, they all eat this. What is that? It's the storyboard, those different emotions that people go through, that keep people watching. And watch time is everything for the performance of a video. So if someone watches a 2-minute 40 video on an app like TikTok or Instagram, like, because our attention span sucks, those algorithms go, this video must be amazing if people watch a 2-minute 40 video, because our attention sucks. So then it gets pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. It's boring talking about the assessment. So you upload a video and it gets shown to, say, 100 people, and it assesses those 100 people how they engaged, right? I'm making that number up, but it shows to 100 people. It assesses their engagement. How long do they watch it for? Did they send it to someone? What response did it elicit? And then it takes that to assess, will we send that to 1,000 more people or 10,000 more people? And in the next ring, it'll perform the same assessment. It'll assess them, and it'll go, okay, and then it'll put you into the next ring, and then somewhere along there, depending on how good or bad the video, it'll just kind of stop.
Unreal. Because everyone talks about how the algorithms on TikTok is the most fairest.
Yeah, definitely the most.
What does that mean?
That you could post a video now of one follower and it can get 1 million views if it's a great video. It's just that. It's just like that. Having followers doesn't really mean anything on TikTok, because if you post a bad video, they're not gonna push it, even to people that have clicked follow.
Right.
Yeah, and Instagram is becoming more fair. But Instagram used to be you have to have the followers for them to see your content, but that's changed. Because people like Spotify, people don't want to find the content. People don't want to find music. People want to be given it. So people want Spotify to tell them what to listen to. People want YouTube to serve them what videos they're going to watch. It's like back in the day when people used to flick TV on, they just will watch what's on. People want that experience back. They don't want to make decisions.
You're a deep thinker at this stuff, aren't you? There's way more to you than what I just thought you were like a lad, living his best life, looking after the kids, filming at the odd video.
Videos is definitely my passion. Storytelling is definitely my passion.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize so much went into that.
Lots of failing goes into it. I upload heaps of videos that go and you just like learning, like trying different things, you
Right.
know? Like where you just like explore something new, you know, like, okay, what happens if I don't voice over while I'm underwater? What if I just like let them hear the sound of the sea, you know, and just see it? Is that boring? You know, it's interesting. People like most people don't know what under the sea looks like. Do they? They know from media. So is that enough for them? You know, and that's what you explore and try out. You know, all those things. You do that every day with 20 different things. You know,
Yeah. So what does an average day look like?
it's
How do you sort of compartmentalize it? So you
I
wake.
don't. Yeah, like you probably know. Like once upon a time, you know, when you were like trying to pump out segments every day on the radio, you probably just think you're hyper analyzing your life and everything that's happening around you, and then just thinking of segments. And it's the same principle for making videos. Like unfortunately, you're always thinking about storytelling. So you're thinking about, oh, that's funny, that's interesting. Like me and that happens all the time. I have a huge argument with my wife, and she'll see me go. She's like, "What are you doing?" Sorry, just writing that's down. That's quite interesting. Yeah. Like yesterday we had this argument.
That's not what my wife wants.
It goes down real bad. And yesterday we had this argument. We're driving down to Auckland, and I'm like, "All right, what do you want to eat? We can get anything that's on the way. There's about 100 food stamps on the way, but she wants this very specific Korean spring roll on the North Shore, which is not on the way. It's just like Peak Trap Auckland, and I'm just like that's interesting. But we had this whole argument, and then like I lean over in the car and I just say like, "Can you just write that on my notes?" She knows where the notes is, where I write this idea down. My notes just full of like random like ideas like that. It's yeah.
It's funny. Yeah, it was like that when JJ and I were married and doing the show together. It was like that.
Yeah.
You're just constantly mining your partner's life and the lives of your friends for content.
Did you find that when you felt like you didn't have an idea and you were just trying to just fucking think of something, it never came? But if you just surrendered and went and lived your life, it would come.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, if you just like went to dinner or something, like it would just come, like the idea.
100%. And there was we had an Australian boss, Ryan, who he had this saying, which I really liked. He's like, "There's nothing wrong with adding GST to a story."
Yeah. In my family, it's called the grandma GST because my grandma just like always just adds crazy details, like people die like in her GST, like it's like more than GST. yeah.
It's like 100% tax.
Nah, never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Yeah, that's another way of framing it. Yeah. Or
well, I think for me, in my context, I think the idea is the most important thing. So like the idea that you should listen to your wife might be the important idea. Like listen to how she feels. That might be the important idea that I want to share in a video. But the truth of it doesn't. Especially now that I make skits, like it's like lots of skits instead of like my actual life, which used to became taxing. So I started making skits because it's like they're fictitious scenarios. The idea, I think, is more important than it being like really truthful and accurate.
How do you know when the content's getting in the way of your relationship? Like you're taking it too far?
It probably in my relationship, it probably always is. But like, if you're married to someone that's really passionate about something, it probably does get in the way. Like, how many partners like hate golf, you know, because of like how that passion for that person, you know, like it does get in the way. That you do make a concession when someone is passionate about their career or their hobby or like something harmful, you know, like gambling or whatever, you know, it does get in the way. And it's just like, for us, it's like continuous comms, therapy, and that's it.
Do you guys do like couples therapy?
Couples and individual,
right? As an ongoing.
That's close to more Wilson's type money, man. They fleecing you, yeah. But
it's like how much? Like 300 an hour? yeah. Fuck, see, this is it. It's like I was saying.
If my partner in life, my favorite person, the person I love the most in the world, has been forced into being also my business partner, because the content becomes business, you know, we need help. Because I've thrust our marriage into this work-life environment where no matter what, the story goes on. So I've thrust our life into this situation. And while we're good, you know, like while I still love you, while I still want to spend the rest of my life with you, I should fight for our marriage, you know? Which is like, let's do it now. Let's do it while, you know, and I haven't been in therapy when I can't imagine what it's like being in therapy when you like hate the other person or you've been cheated on, you don't want to be with them or whatever, right? But it is I'd encourage more parents or more couples, sorry, who it's obviously very expensive and very hard. So that's probably why people don't do it. But if it is possible, to do therapy, just because. Yeah, it sounded so douchey saying it because I didn't acknowledge that the barrier is money. It's just like so fucking expensive.
Yeah, the cost is prohibitive for a lot of people.
So if you clip that, that's got to be in there, that part, because people go like, "Did you just say just get therapy just because?" Like even if it's not then you have problem. Yeah,
no, I won't clip that one. Yeah. There's no way you collab in that one. Yeah, but even people that do have the financial means to do it probably. I think that's really forward thinking, like to go to couples therapy when you're not in trouble, because people think it as a crisis sort of situation. That's when you go. Yeah. But
that role has been required because we don't have a boss, we don't have employees, we don't have but our relationship is more than it should be. We should be more than just partners, co-parents, and flatmates. Unfortunately, we're now business partners.
Yeah, you commercialise
creative collaborators. Yeah.
Whose idea was it to go to therapy together?
Probably both of us. Me and my wife have real good conversations, and we also have individual therapy. So the table's set for that. Yeah.
How often do you go?
Try go once a month. Yeah, it should be more. It's just real expensive.
Fuck, see, you're so onto it, eh? I think I went to therapy for the first time when I was maybe 47, 48, when I sort of reached a crisis in my life. Yeah. I didn't think to go in my late 20s when things were good. Yeah. It was the last thing on my mind.
Yeah. A mate of mine suggested I go to therapy in preparation for my first child, which is you might think you're all good. But even if you just looked at it as a commitment to your wife, to your future child, so that you can be the best possible partner and dad that you can be. So I showed up I'm sweet. What a waste of time. Why am I doing this? And then they just cracked it open.
Yeah, are you quite good at being vulnerable and having hard conversations?
I think that because I think that I am, that probably means that I'm not. And what I mean by that is people that usually claim to be okay with being vulnerable. It's just they just have a higher threshold. They're not really being vulnerable. They like to share or
just naturally an overshare.
Yeah. And vulnerable actually just looks like something else for them. So, but I think I have a real good toolkit for communicating how I feel because of my parents. So I had two parents that loved each other, and I one of the most important things that my dad ever did for me, who's my dad's my hero, is that my dad just loved my mum my whole life, and I just watched that. I just watched someone just love the shit out of my mum, and when you have that, you learn what it is to honor someone, to be committed to someone, to watch my parents fight and then resolve things, then explain to me why I'm mad, and then I watched them move forward. I had parents that let me feel the way that I wanted to feel. I wasn't a kid that had to be quiet or not take up space, or my parents took an interest in me and how I felt about stuff, and so I grew up with this uncommon confidence that it mattered how I felt, and I could say how I felt, and I became a communicator because of that from my parents.
Wow, are they still together?
Yeah. My parents, they still love each other, man.
What about Ash's parents?
Ash's parents aren't together, but Ash's. So there's been a lot, Ash's mum is amazing. She's so cool. She's been really my mum since I was 15. She's been more years than that she hasn't been in my life. She has been. So I call her mum. She's been my mum. But something that has been caused strain for us is we've run into these things where I just assume they are that way, because this is the example that I had. This is what I watched. And then Ash is creating or has an idea of fatherhood that's based on not an example, not something. So what am I trying to say? and I also have empathy for a lot of what my wife observes could be quite triggering, you know,
How do you mean?
because she is in real time watching a father love his daughter no matter what, you know. She's watching a father, you know, be there for all the moments, like do the things that she didn't have. And it's like her story to tell, so I can't really go into that, but
Okay.
it's yeah, I have a lot of empathy with my wife, that how that could feel like watching that, like because of how strong I feel about my children, how like the things I say and portray to the world and the way I act, is saying that no matter what, you know, I'll love my kids, be there for my kids, and then it's saying like, but you didn't have that, and that how, you know, how that dialogue could happen with yourself. Yeah, there's this Eminem talks about like why he has never connected with his dad. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but he talks about like, I don't need to know. I can't relate to him. I can't understand. You know, if I had no money, if I wasn't Eminem, I had nothing in this world, I would find my children. You know, I would go to the ends of the earth for my children. You know, I can't relate to that man at all. I have nothing to say to him. I have nothing from him, or nothing from him, and I resonate with that.
Yeah, how could you be so cold, eh? Like, how could you? Yeah, how could you have a kid? And I mean, I don't have my own kids. Like, I had a tumour taken out. JJ and I went through rounds and rounds of IVF, so I haven't been lucky enough to have my own family. But it's like I just can't fathom or understand that. How, you know, even if it's like an accidental pregnancy or a one night stand or whatever, like, how can you turn your back on a fucking kid? Yeah. It's crazy.
It's the ultimate taonga, the ultimate privilege for some people. It's the only thing they want in this whole world is to be a parent. And then for some people, it means nothing. Or they just don't have the capacity, capability, clarity of mind, or just,
your content, like, it makes me happy, but then other times like it bums me out. It's like, oh shit, I'd love to be a girl dad more than anything.
I think about this. I think about I often, when I tell a positive story, I often think about how this might affect someone who would feel like a sense of loss or mourn something, or
you can't though. You just can't. You can't live your whole life worrying about whose toes you're going to step on. No. It's kind of overthinking it.
Not even like step on toes.
Yeah.
Like, I think about that.
Yeah. Well, it seems like you've got a great marriage, but it is nice to hear that like, it's not just like naturally great and you have to work on it.
It's hard. And
cool.
people that, you know, it's people that say that it's easy. I never believe them. It's like the people that say that getting tattoos don't hurt. Like, it's like they're just lying. Like, they're either lying or they got a little tattoo, or they have a marriage that's like surface level. You know, like marriage is so hard, and that's not a new take, but but. We are at a time where we think marriage is the thing you do when you found the perfect person at some point in your life, and I think it's you. I actually don't recommend marriage to anyone. It's ironic because I'm a marriage celebrant, but I think it's whatever relationship you're in. It's just an active choice. Active choice is the best description I've got. Yeah,
that's one thing I realised as someone that's has had a failed marriage. It's like, you know, once you get married, you got to work like a motherfucker to keep that thing. Keep that.
Well,
thing
JJ
going.
doesn't describe it as a failed marriage. She makes that point.
Yeah, that's true. No, but when you get married, you know, it feels like anything less than being together until one person dies is a fail. True. That's just how it feels.
You guys have like a Hall of Fame example of like breaking up. It's like, man, and that's like, I think very few people could replicate the way you guys have parted ways. Pretty amazing.
Well, thank you. Well, I mean, the way the way that she's like treated me post our breakup, it's like I feel probably more loyal to her than what I did even when we were married. Like, she's just had my back through thick and thin, and in turn I feel exactly the same way. Like I'd take a bullet for her if I have like death through, say, a terminal illness, so one where you get to say goodbye to people in hospice or whatever. She's 100% one of the people I'd want to be there in that room. When I take my last breath.
That's amazing. That story, your guys' story, man. You got to make sure you take the time to bottle that up. You gotta preserve that. As two of the most important storytellers in the history of New Zealand media, you got to make sure you capture that properly. Joint book. No one more. Page each. You just go on off one page.
no more books. If you get off a book deal, turn it down. It'll be the worst hourly rate you ever make in your life. How do you make your money as a content creator? Because I look through your stuff, and most of it's just like you and the kids, or you goofing around. There's not sort of obvious. You know what I mean? Like you go to, say, Simone Anderson's page, and there's like a lot of very obvious. And I'm not having got Simone. I've had her on the podcast, and she's fucking great, and I love her. But she's a hustler. But there's a lot of obvious deals. But yours, is it stealthily put in there?
Nah, it's you. Oh, so I guess without going into Simone Anderson, we'll just generalize classic Instagrammers, who I define her, is that a lot of their life is like gifted. There's definitely paid work in there. So it's like, it probably feels like on those pages that everything's an ad, but in New Zealand you have to disclose. Like if you were given this, you would have to reference that technically by letter of law every time it's in it. You have to include somewhere that you were given that. So,
you don't just have to do it the first time.
Forever. If it's
forever.
If you're creating the impression,
Wow.
It's like if you got paid by Air New Zealand to go on holiday, every single thing on the trip that you shared about the trip, you would have to, So it's like that's the letter of the law. There's no like landmark cases that are being enforced, but that's why it can feel like that sometimes with people's pages. But for me, I guess because I have so like the brand deals that I do take, they just slide really easily into my life. They're brands that are a part of my life, and so I guess it does feel natural, and that's why like I do get ads that get hundreds of thousands, even millions of views, which is like great for the company, and like cause that's what they're hoping for, like when they pay for it. But a content creator makes money in 3 ways. Surely someone else has talked about this on the podcast. This might be boring, but like the first in New Zealand, the most common way a New Zealand content creator will make money is brand deals. So they have a sponsored brand deal, they get paid to make a video incorporating the product. Pretty straightforward. The second is that they make it from ad revenue, which is generated from the app. So your YouTube, they run ads against your YouTube video. Do you run ads against this on YouTube? Like that. Yeah.
The AdSense thing. Yeah. But the sort of views I'm getting, it's fuck all. I might make a couple of dollars off this one.
No, get a can of Coke. So AdSense, but the good thing about like a video is you can repurpose a video to like Snapchat has the highest payout of all short form content. You can monetize on Facebook. You can monetize YouTube Shorts now and stuff like that. So the AdSense that the algorithm places on it. And then thirdly is money straight from your audience. So people support causes. People, live streamers, all of their income comes straight from the audience. Some of the highest earning content creators in New Zealand are live streamers, because like, if they convince 1,000 people to give them $100 a year, they could probably leave. It's not that hard for a live streamer to do
$2
that.
a week as well. It's not much for
not, there's live streamers that make 10 grand a day, so it's like they're live streaming for people can be life changing. Yeah.
Well, I had a girl here this week who's like one of New Zealand's biggest OnlyFans creators, and it's basically just swimwear stuff. Like she's not doing porn or nudes or anything, and she's making like $40K a month. Yeah, it's crazy money.
Crazy. Yeah. They're real smart too. They're like OnlyFans crazy. They're like, we had a guest speaker once, and when I was working at the university, OnlyFans creator, and they understand their business inside and out. It's amazing.
So, in a good year, like, what do you make? Like a good salary?
Yeah, mate. Yeah. I make like a real good living. My wife doesn't have to work. She does her own brand deals now. I live a good life, like a great life, and but it'll go away, right? Like you live a real good life while I'm relevant. One day I won't be relevant, you know. So it's not like, you know, most careers where your earning just goes up, you know, and you gain more responsibility inside that profession. It might continue to go up, but yeah.
Yeah, well, why wouldn't it? Why do you? I mean, it's a good attitude to think it may not always be there, but I mean, yeah, there was the university stuff, and now you're doing the dad stuff.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
sort of a reflection
as long as you continue to make videos, it can almost pretty much guarantee that you'll continue to be a content creator. But I think, who knows? I might just
get bored of it, or
no? I don't think that will be. I think it'll just be the time will pass. You know, like you can only be like the flavor of the month for so long. You know, like it's like that if you're a broadcaster, you know, if you're a book writer, you know, you get your time, and I'm like a realist about that. And then I'll just live in the north, grow food, fish. Like I'll be sweet by then, living off solar. I'll be all good. If I don't make any money, I'll still make videos, but I'll just like, live in the north and just hang out with my kids.
How good.
Homeschooling them.
Yeah, how good. Oh, I did want to ask you. I've got a bunch of questions from on Instagram that people want to know, sort of TikTok related. But I want to know, like, given the content you put out, you know, like as a guy who fucking loves his wife and a guy who's a great dad with his kids, do you get any chicks sliding into your DMs trying to?
There's definitely, again, I say I don't read the comments, don't read the DMs, but there definitely, when there was a time when I read comments, I think there's people. I think it's more that they're longing for that. Maybe it's not specifically about me, but it's described like it's about me. But it's more, I think, that they're longing for. Look at me deflecting. It's more that they're like, it's more that they want to be loved, listen to by the partner. They want, you know, a dad, a partner that shows up for their kids, and it's more that, I think. Yeah. More
so it does happen.
Yeah, more. Nah, not really. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah. That's tasteless.
Yeah, I mean, the logic maybe is like married man that loves his wife. Like maybe they just think I'm in love with. I'd be good at being married. Like, I don't. Yeah. That's a weird. I don't know the logic.
Okay, what are some of the biggest challenges you've faced as a TikTok?
On that question before we go on, something I'm like real careful about, which like all content creators eventually have to think about, is I have to be so careful that everything that I do and say is crystal clear and could not be misinterpreted. So like, you're never gonna catch me just like liking people's videos and photos. Like, I'm not just gonna respond. It's very hard to get me to respond to a DM. Like I'm gonna do nothing that could be confused as disrespectful to my wife, and I'm so careful that like how I interact, you know, down here in Auckland with the Illuminati when I'm hanging out with with all the big bad wolves down here, you know, and all the temptation. I'm very careful that nothing that I do or say could be interpreted as disrespectful to her. Yeah.
Wow. Like to what extent? So you're going to the Warriors game tonight. If someone comes up for a selfie, you wouldn't put your arm around them?
Yeah, I think like that. Yeah, because I just think I think
it's kind of sad in a way because you're a big teddy bear.
Yeah, I think I think specifically about her, and then that just informs me. Not because I have like a jealous wife or anything. If anything, she doesn't care enough. Nah,
just an old level of respect.
Yeah, just that. More, and that's part of my brand too. Is that my part of my brand is like that cause I have been caught out before, like making TikToks and stuff, like dancing TikToks, like where people like misinterpret that. I like a mate of mine, Jazz Thornton. We made a dancing TikTok, and like I don't know if you've seen on TikTok, but the top search is always at the top of the comments, and at the top the top comment was Louis Davis divorce. So it's like the internet like moves fast.
Wow.
Yeah, like the top search is people searching for videos about my divorce. So it's like, yeah,
unbelievable. So some people are sort of like waiting for you to fail, or
I don't know. I don't know. It's just the internet.
Yeah,
you know, things get misinterpreted.
Wow. Oh, that's a good way to live though. Like you're just living with the utmost sort of integrity. Yeah. That's cool. She must.
I don't have skeletons. You know, you're not gonna find. You know.
Well, if this is who you're portraying, you just can't break character.
Yeah, you can. There are people that portray something that's not who they are, but I take serious being who I am in the story that I tell.
Well, authenticity is key, I think, isn't it? All right, let's get to some of these questions.
Are these fast? Like, am I just
No,
like, okay.
no, as long as you want.
Okay.
I've really enjoyed just the pace and the tempo of this conversation. Like I don't know, I expected more energy, but you're like you're I'm pleasantly surprised at how laid back you
People
are.
always think I'm stoned.
Yeah. Are you?
Not today.
Occasionally, or you don't?
Nah, not. I don't know. It's this thing that once I had children on the way, it's this weird, like maybe conservative value, which is like
really,
yeah, like, I don't drink. Yeah.
Don't you at the Warriors tonight? We have a couple of beers, or no? You just saying you're not. How long have you been a non-drinker?
I have not had any alcohol in a year, but like I haven't had anything recreational, the other stuff, and since like started thinking about having kids.
Wow, so you got no sort of vices or anything, really?
Nah.
Wow, that's cool. You've sort of been reevaluating.
That means I was thinking, what are my vices?
You probably like a phone addiction. Have you got a?
Everyone in this world is addicted to their phone. Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, I would hate to see you. Actually, I was going to say
my screen time's 8 hours a day.
Right. Oh, yeah, mine's probably just as bad. But the thing is, a lot of yours is like productive time. Like
I think of it as all productive time. No matter what people think. Yeah, but it's.
If you're having a zombie scroll though,
I also don't sleep. much, so it's like
Don't you? But why are you thinking about content, or what are you?
Yeah.
Well, you just don't need much sleep.
I stay up late editing because it's after my kids go to bed. And then like,
do you edit on your phone, or have you got?
Heaps on my phone because phone feels like you can do it in and around stuff, whereas like laptop, computer, you got to set up. It feels like separate. So like I often do stuff on my phone. Yeah.
Okay, what are some of the biggest challenges you've faced as a TikTok content creator?
Not really.
No.
Not really. Haven't faced any. It's just that I have to think of videos every day, which like 80% of the time is a joy, and 20% of the time is the discipline of it. Yeah.
What's been the most rewarding aspect of being a TikTok influencer?
Is that what? I don't think I have any influence over anyone. I'm proudly a TikToker, but what has been the most rewarding part is that I get to spend as much time with my children as I want. Is that like you wake up and I spend my day doing the things that I love, and that's not a privilege that everyone gets to enjoy. Millions of people, it took literally to give one family that, but I'm thankful for that. And I get to wake up and do whatever I want every day, and I'm so thankful for that.
Fuck, that is so cool. That's it. Everyone's dream, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you're doing it.
Most people, unfortunately, don't get the chance to figure that out, because life has lots of pressure, and so I'm real thankful that I got to at least know what mine is.
Because the life that like most of us lead, it just makes no sense. Like you work your ass off for 48 weeks of the year to have 4 weeks annual leave, and
I'm lucky that I don't want stuff. I don't. I don't. If you're listening to this, I'm wearing Crocs and I'm real underdressed.
But the Crocs have got a lot of those. What are those badges called?
The gibbets.
They've got a lot of gibbets.
Yeah,
they're high spec Crocs.
Yeah, I wear Crocs everywhere all the time. I've never had the Crocs deal.
Lift your legs up so they can be seen on camera. Oh, look at all the what are they, giblets? Giblets. How do you decide which brands or creators to collaborate with?
It's just my mates, people that I'd want to hang out with.
Yeah,
that's creators. Like
and brands.
Last night I was staying at a creator's house. Because it's like we were just like watching short videos. We were like editing a video together, like handing it back and forth, like doing the edits together. Like, it's so fun hanging out with someone that understands the craft.
Who was that?
Terrell. He's been around for a long time. Has millions of followers.
Fuck, that's so cool that you got this little community or this network.
Yeah, well, we're lonely. Yeah, like we're super lonely, and we don't have colleagues, we don't have peers. So when we get to hang out with other creators, like tonight at the Warriors game, where there'll be like heaps of other creators, and when you get to see each other and talk to each other and talk about, because it's like our union basically. So when we hang out, we can talk about brands and we can talk about what we're working on and what's changing and what's going on, and like mates for creators. Like, I'm not gonna enjoy meeting up with someone I don't know to make videos with. It's gonna be like work, which the secret is for it to not feel like that. And then for brands, it's just got to be in your life. Yeah, and who I won't work with is I think it might, like I won't do like gambling, like I won't do alcohol. Like I had a chance to do a custom vape flavor. I wouldn't do that, you know.
So
it's just not part of my
easy.
the real easy ones. But alcohol, I feel like is a sneaky dog, like that slips in there. But for me, nah.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be. I mean, we talked before about authenticity and staying in character. If you're a non-drinker, then
true.
Yeah.
But I like beer, like maybe the 0%, but it's just nah. It's just the. No, maybe no.
Because if I was a kid now, like I when I was growing up, like most of my mates smoked, so I tried smoking because I wanted to fit in, and I just hated it. I think if I was growing up now, I'd be a vapor. Like they're so yum, eh? Like a watermelon flavored vape. What is this? It's amazing. So dangerous.
That's out the gate, eh?
What skills or qualities do you think are essential for someone to be successful on TikTok?
You love making videos.
Yeah.
You like if me and you, if you cloned me, you know, and you cloned all of my skills and knowledge and understanding of content, but one of me loves it and one of me is doing it as a job for money. Like the person who loves it, you can't beat him. You can't beat someone that would do it for free. You can't beat someone that's passionate about it. Like you just won't. They'll be doing it when your motivation runs out. They'll be doing it when you need a break, you know, because they love it. And if you love it and you're passionate about it and you're consistent, you'll succeed. But what happens with a lot of creators is they get 50,000 followers, they get 100,000 followers, and they start trying to figure out how to make money, which you probably can, but that's the beginning of the end.
How so?
You should wait as long as possible to try and make money.
Right.
Because the longer you can make it just about the love of making videos, it'll just translate in the content. Like it'll be better, it'll be funnier, it'll be deeper, it'll be more consistent, and those opportunities will come. But people that switch that focus of theirs to like how do I make money means just they're moving their eyes away from like what do I love, what am I passionate about, because that's what resonates with the audience. Yes, life is about money, but if you can just work your normal job for 3-4 years but still make videos every day, you should do that. You'll build something way better in terms of your community or your audience.
I think this has probably been the biggest surprise for me today, just how much thought you put into it. Are you familiar with the 10,000 hour theory, Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hour?
Is that to master something?
Yeah. 10,000 hours. You would have done your 10,000 hours,
Yeah. And then I'm willing to do 10,000 on like something within the niche. I'm willing to do 10,000 on like learning to make YouTube vlogs. I'm willing to do 10,000 on interviews. Like I'm like everything within the world of content. I'm willing to fail publicly, which is what was required of us, and then learn, because I love it.
Yeah, have you got quite a good relationship with failure?
Yeah, well, that's what happens every day. You know, make videos that don't hit. You know, when you've had, I had the most watched video of last year, so it's like every video I post is not my best by those metrics, right?
Yeah.
So like I just have to accept, that I'm just gonna keep chasing it because I know that I'll have bigger and better. I know that will come because I show up every day, and the promise is that if I show up every day for my pursuit, that the possibility of it happening always remains.
Is that the goal every day? Is that what you strive for every day, or do you post some stuff and you know it's not going to be?
Well, sometimes that happens and it goes crazy, but the goal every day is to tell stories that I care about. Sometimes I don't care about them that much, and sometimes I care about them a lot, and that's the goal, and that's what resonates with people. Because again, it's just like a hobby. Like people might not be able to understand listening to this why I feel that way about it, but just sub it for whatever your thing is. Like whatever. If you like runners just love it. They can't get a runner to shut up about running and start talking about running, and like that makes no sense to some people, But like when I listen to that, I understand just like that someone has a passion, whatever that is, and it's just to translate. This is my one.
Oh yeah. You specifically messaged me saying, "Oh, I want you to talk about my running." Like we haven't really talked about it. Sorry.
Yeah.
But you're doing really well though. Like I saw a TikTok you did where you're going for a 15K run, and it was good. It
I'm
was
running in the Queenstown. I'm running in the Queenstown full. Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah. I'm excited.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm real excited.
Have you done a half yet?
Yeah, I've done a half. I've run that distance a few times. And it's running. I don't know if you know this, but running is probably the closest stimulus you can have to diving. The breathing is the same, like how you're trying to feel during that. It's work, that strain, but not hard running, but like easy running. It's like similar to diving, like how you're trying to be relaxed as possible. The breathing similar, and so like all the days I can't dive, I run. Yeah, I love it. Like it's out of it.
When did you start?
I've run since I was a teenager, but I just enjoy running. Like I'm not like trying to improve. I'm not like I still just eat whatever I want, like live my life how I want, but I just enjoy the practice of like having that time to run. So it's like I think of great videos while I'm running. I like ring people I haven't rung in ages while I'm running. Like I really enjoy the mindfulness of it. Yeah, and you talked about that, eh? The magic of it.
Meditative effect of it. It's crazy. Yeah. And the mental health benefits, which is probably something I never really thought too much about until like the last few years.
Well, it's one of your strategies you probably had prior to like some of the tools you have now for like managing your mental days, like exercise.
Completely.
Like what you were subbing in.
Some sort of movement every day. Yeah. I love it. I can't emphasize the importance of that.
Yeah.
Like there's the physical benefits that everyone knows about. Yeah, but the mental health benefits, like you even on a day where you feel like shit and you don't feel like getting out there, you always feel like $1 million as soon as you've finished a run. And the less you feel like doing it, the better you feel once it's done.
Yeah. Or the more strain you put on yourself, I reckon, the bigger the payoff is.
It's like doing hard stuff.
It's like reverse drugs, Instead of that.
Shit, so you can do a full. That's awesome. So what's the longest training run you've had so far?
In this block, not very far. Cause I'm running a half in. I'm gonna run a half in. I think it's 4 weeks now. Not an event, but that's what the current block of training that leads up to. Yeah. So they ran 16 on Sunday. Yeah. It's very slow. It's like a plod. I can probably have a yarn with you while I'm running. But it's crack up. I run in like a real small. I live in a small bay of like 50 people, and they're all retired. And it's like I'm like the only thing that happens on their street. Like because I run this little 2K loop because it's quite unsafe to run in the hills. So like, and they just like sit there and have their kai and they watch me run and they. How many more laps to go?
Are you sort of a big deal in your community, or like
this is the only place in the world where I'm still me. So.
Well, they don't give a fuck, or they just don't understand what you do.
Yeah, like they just don't care, and like, but now, and it's out of it because every time I leave my little like isolated bay, it's like a reminder of how much what I am in the world is changing, and like sometimes just rushes up and punches you in the face. Like it went from like occasionally getting recognized a couple of years ago to like just like every store, like someone. There'll be some sort of interaction like that. Even overseas and stuff like that's out of it. Like I've been traveling this year, and it's like out of it, like other side of the world. Like people stop you.
Awesome. And people in your small home community, they proud of you? Is there some envy?
Nah, I'm just treated exactly the same. The only time it comes up is when I'm in a magazine. And the lady at the shop gets so excited and she'll show me, and it's like because it puts it in the context of her world, like her media, right? Like her lady at the little dairy, like she like just so excited to show me, like I don't know that I did the interview, like I love it. Like, it's like, it puts it in like
like a real world perspective. But the irony is, like, magazine's probably got a readership of like 30,000 or something. It's way less than the content you're pumping out.
Yeah, that's
that's funny.
Yeah, that's funny.
Well, mate, this has been bloody great. This has been a lot of fun. I've been pleasantly surprised. You're way more than what I expected. I mean that in the nicest possible way. I mean, I know you're a good husband and a good father, but I don't think I realised just how much of a brain is ticking back there when it comes to the stuff you're doing online. Yeah, and it's been awesome. I think a lot of people will get a lot out of this, like in terms of content creation. It's like a masterclass in how to do it.
I think if anyone wants to tell stories, and I think like people think of it as a young person's thing, but if anyone wants to tell stories of the world, even if you just want to tell more people about your business, or you want to share your hobby for stamp collecting or whatever, like if you want to tell stories and you want to get it out there in the world, like you should just start telling your stories. It's only you and your anxiety that holds you back from telling your stories. There will be people that care about your story. There will be people that that connect with you, and so people should just start. Anyone can do this. It's like not that hard. You just have to love what you do enough that you will make videos forever and eventually fall in love with learning about the performance of those videos.
Yeah, and if your biggest fear is worrying about what people think, fuck them. People are thinking about you way less than what you imagine.
Yeah. Hard out. Yeah, that's what I would say. You probably aren't going to believe me if you've heard me say just have courage, and if you're passionate about something, do it. But I thought I'd try anyway and say that what you have to say matters, and if you want to share it with the world, people will care. I hope you have the courage to do so.
I think that's a good place to end it. Louis Davis, husband, father, content creator. I appreciate it, mate.
Thank you.